For his remarkable achievements, Loyola Marymount University is proud to bestow on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
We're going to skyhook this, so we're leaning back. We're going to skyhook over you. We got it. And then after this, Paul will introduce you. So okay. We still got to get you right here. For God's sake, here, let's twist this around. How many guys, how many personal ballets do you know? That's your own too. Never look at it. Yeah. You're going to do this. You can introduce me. You're going to do the formal thing. You're supposed to do this, right? You're supposed to do by virtue. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the state of California and by the trustees of Loyola Marymount University, I now confer on you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to that degree. Congratulations, Dr. LMU Dr. Abdul-Jabbar.
Graduates, families, and friends, I am pleased to introduce you to our commencement speaker, Dr. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
All right. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, and good morning to the faculty, administrators, staff, families, and class of 2019. Welcome. When I accepted this invitation to come here to speak to you, I was told that I had 10 minutes to tell you something profound and inspiring. 10 minutes may not seem like a lot of time, but a lot can happen in 10 minutes, especially in college. For example, it takes 10 minutes for caffeine to take effect. You probably already know that, since caffeine is how many of you got through finals, right? Okay. 10 minutes is about how long some college romances last. And it takes about 10 minutes to compose a desperate email to your professor, begging for an extension for your final project. Today, 10 minutes is how long it's going to take for me to give you 12 pieces of advice that I wish someone had given to me when I graduated. Number one, you are not the future. All your lives, people have been telling you that you are the future. Relax, you're not. That's way too heavy a burden to have to carry. What you are is the present. You are sitting here today in a world that's better than it was yesterday because of your efforts and sacrifices and determination. Thanks to what you've done in the present, all of us here today are more excited and hopeful about the future. So don't worry about the future. It'll come around without any help from you. Instead, enjoy who you are right now and the tremendous accomplishment we are here to celebrate. Number two, thank the people who have helped you. Sitting here today in your uncomfortable seats and dressed like Harry Potter, you're surrounded by sleep-deprived friends who struggle to stay awake through the morning classes with you. You're surrounded by a loving family who told you to get your sorry butt to class when you thought things were too tough. You're surrounded by dedicated teachers who guided you through course after course, even when you'd rather have been binging on Game of Thrones. In short, you are surrounded by a whole lot of love. Thank all of these people, not just because they deserve your gratitude, but because you are now the kind of person who realizes that no one gets anywhere alone. Most important, wait until I'm done talking before you start talking to them, okay? Number 3, have regrets. There's a trend these days of people bragging that they have no regrets about anything they've done in their lives. Do not trust those people. Regrets are good. They tell you 2 important things about yourself. First, regrets tell you that you have taken risks in your life. I'm not talking about foolish risks like selling your car and maxing out credit cards to buy lottery tickets, or stomping on the gas pedal because you're absolutely positive your Prius can beat that speeding train across the track. I'm talking about reasonable risks for which the benefit is something worthwhile. Sure, taking risks doesn't always work out in your favor, but that's why when they do work out, they are so rewarding. The second thing that regrets tell you about yourself is what your values are. Believe me, during the coming years, you will do things that are foolish, out of character, and completely embarrassing. Things that might have been excused as college hijinks now will be considered a reflection of your adult character. The fact that you feel regret tells you that you actually care about having values. More important, it's not the mistakes you make that reflect your character. It's what you do to rectify those mistakes. We all have regrets. They are the scars of doing battle with life. But the wise persons learn from them and grows because of them. Number 4, play more video games. If college has taught us anything, it's that Nazi zombies aren't going to kill themselves. That's from Call of Duty, for those of you who don't know. You've worked hard to get here today, and you have a lot more hard work coming up as you pursue new careers. Make sure that you don't forget to play. Plan one thing to do every day that you look forward to, whether it's Xbox with the old neighborhood gang, or basketball with people from work, or a movie with someone special. Do something every day that reminds you that you are more than just someone's employee. To spend your life just working for the weekends means you've left out 5 days of every week. Number 5, when choosing romance, compassion is more important than passion. Now, I know you probably didn't come here today thinking that you were going to get dating advice from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Fortunately, I'm a full-service commencement speaker. And if there's one thing that I've learned in 7 decades of life, it's that no matter how successful you are in your career, it's meaningless unless you are equally as successful in relationships. Of course, I'm not saying that the person you're interested in shouldn't be passionate. That's a given. You want someone who embraces life with gusto and joy and wonderment. But more important is that the person shows genuine compassion toward others. Look for someone who's willing to go out of their way to help a friend, or even a stranger. Someone who, when they see a need, seeks to fill it. When they see pain, seeks to remove it. When they see suffering, seeks to comfort. When you hear someone say, "Sure, I'll help you move," or "What time do you want me to drive you to the airport?" that's a person to consider. Number 6, the most important characteristic in a person is curiosity. Harvard University did a study in which they discovered that when people are confronted with evidence that an opinion that they have is wrong, if they immediately reject the evidence without considering it, their brain releases a soothing chemical, rewarding them. That chemical is similar to an addictive drug. Your body actually encourages ignorant bliss over logical thinking, which is why other studies show that for most people, whatever opinions you have at 21 will be the same ones you'll have for the rest of your life. That scares me. And it should scare you too, because it means that you think you're done learning and you put your mind into lockdown. Abolitionist Wendell Phillips said, "Eternal vigilance is the price of liberty." That quote is often used to encourage us to maintain our guard against international enemies that mean us harm. But it also refers to us as individuals. The price of keeping your liberty as a constantly growing individual is to be constantly vigilant against your own complacency. Be vigilant against believing an idea simply because everyone around you does. Be vigilant against following a leader simply because you're too busy or too lazy to find out about alternatives. Be vigilant against going along to get along, because each time you surrender to that impulse, you lose a little part of you. Which brings us back to curiosity. The mind is like any other muscle. It needs to be exercised in order to remain strong. Curiosity about the world exercises the mind. Curiosity leads us to explore the unfamiliar, which floods the brain with new information, which makes the brain stronger and happier. When you look around and see those who are unhappy and dissatisfied, it's usually those people who have burrowed into a life of familiarity and routine. The uncurious person sees only a handful of drab shades of gray, but the curious person sees a wide rainbow of bright and stimulating colors. That bright and colorful world is the one you want to live in. Number 7, use your powers for good. LMU has taught and trained you to go out into the world and become successful at whatever you choose. Knowledge is power, and you now have the power to dramatically improve your lives. That's a terrific goal. But you also have the power to improve other people's lives. Like the 13-year-old boy who used parts from his Lego Mindstorms EV3 kit and $5 in hardware from Home Depot to invent a cheap Braille printer, replacing the typical $2,000 model that was too expensive for most of the world's 285 million visually impaired people. He could have made a fortune, but instead the plans are online for free. Or the 2 teenage brothers who saw how many of their fellow students were too poor to start each school year with proper supplies. So they started backpacks for new beginnings. That provides backpacks stocked with school supplies for students in need. They are already changing the world. But changing the world doesn't have to involve inventions. It can mean just helping the people in your community, in your neighborhood. Find a way to use your knowledge and skills to make a difference in the lives of others, and it will make a difference in your life. Number 8, put peanut butter on everything. There are very few things in life that make everything they touch seem better. An NBA championship ring is one of those things. Peanut butter is the other. Number 9, be patient. Impatience is the official language of youth. They want to rush to the next thing before they properly appraise where they are. Philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "Talent hits the target no one else can hit. Genius hits the target no one else can see." I think that part of the genius in seeing the target no one else can see is being patient. It is in waiting for the target to appear so you can do the right thing, not just the expedient thing. Learning to wait is one of my greatest accomplishments as I've grown older. Number 10, stop watching any show that includes members of the cast from Jersey Shore. Your IQ will thank you. Number 11, everything doesn't have to be fixed right now. One of the things that makes LMU students special is that most of you come here with a clear and practical plan for your future. You are the architects and builders of the next generation of everything, from computer technology to medical advances to social justice solutions. It's one thing to sit around imagining what can be done. It's another to be the ones who roll up their sleeves and actually get it done. The good part of that attitude is that when you see a problem, you will set about solving it. That kind of attitude is what builds great careers and great cultures. However, it's important that you realize this simple truth. Some stuff can't be fixed now. Some stuff takes longer, much longer. Don't avoid facing tough challenges, but don't also beat yourself up over those things that you can't fix right away. Deciding which is a key part of maturing. Sometimes you're running the race yourself, but sometimes you're part of a relay team. Civil rights for people of color, women, the LGBTQ community, and others has been a relay race of carrying the baton as long as we can, then passing it on to the next runner. Today, you're the next runner. Number 12, be prepared, because this is not your last graduation. The most annoying question many of you will face today and tomorrow and next week is this: what are you going to do next? Get used to that question, not just today, but for the rest of your life, because life is a series of graduations. You graduate from school into the working world. You graduate from being single to being married, from being without children to never sleeping in again, from being a breadwinner to being retired, and so on. Each is a transitional period in which you have to shuck the old self and redefine who you are for your new future course. When I graduated from the NBA, I faced the same question of what I would do next, not just from friends and family, like most of you, but from hundreds of reporters, which added a lot of pressure to whatever my answer would be. I know what you're thinking. With my witty charm, great body, and pivotal role in the film Airplane, I had a lot of choices about what to do next. But I kept coming back to the question itself, what it really meant. What are you going to do next? On one level, it's a very simple question. How will you be filling your time? What is your next step on your ladder to success? But on another level, the question is more philosophical. What will you do to be worthy of success? I keep coming back to something Albert Einstein once said. Try not to be a man of success, but rather to be a man of value. Certainly there was value in what I had already accomplished, but I wanted something more than success. I wanted whatever I did next to have significance. I know it sounds very grand, but what exactly does that mean? It means I didn't want to be just filling time. I didn't want to move up another rung on the same ladder I'd been climbing my whole life. I wanted my actions to positively affect my entire community, not just the sports community. Whenever I reached my next graduation, I wanted to look back and know that I'd improved other people's lives, not just my own. So I did what no one expected. I wrote history books. In those books, I tried to promote many forgotten people of color whose courage in the face of overwhelming adversity changed our world. I wanted to provide inspiring role models for children who needed to see what they too could accomplish. I also coached a high school basketball team on an Apache reservation. I tried to pass along some of the basketball skills and some of the off-court lessons I'd learned. Yes, I still act in movies and TV shows, and yes, you'll see me doing commercials. I'm not claiming that you have to sell all your worldly possessions, wander the globe in rags, or, worse, cancel Netflix. You should embrace and celebrate your pleasures. You've earned them. I'm just saying what Flaubert once said. Success is a result, not a goal. So go forth and multiply, divide, subtract, quote Einstein and Flaubert, watch Netflix, kill Nazi zombies, rent Airplane, but also prove to the world and to yourselves that you are worthy of being successful by making yourself significant. Thank you and congratulations, class of 2019. Go for it. Go Lions!